It's like I always say, that hourglass is ticking, man. It's ticking. No, Booker, that's a clock, not an hourglass. You know the difference between these two things. They look nothing alike. Sure, they can be used to tell time, but one ticks and one has stands that go through the hourglass, and these are the days of our thighs. You know this, but maybe you just decide to throw up your hands, throw in the towel, whatever cliche that you want to use, and just say anything, even if it adds nothing to the product. But honestly, Booker T at his best on commentary really was just a caricature, and now he's just fucking given up. But then again, speaking of giving up, I'm John Recton with my review of WWE NXT White and Gold. We're just over a month away from NXT Deadline, the next premium live event, and oh boy, the deadline sure has passed on NXT being salvageable. I know that some people may not understand why I get so angry at NXT on occasion, because I appreciate the efforts of the talents, but this is my main criticism. Nothing about it feels organic. Everything feels stagey, from the segments to the matches to the feuds. Everything there's so much potential. So many of these talents, even if they're just a year or two into their career, they could honestly be some of the biggest talents in a couple years and help out the Raw, SmackDown brands, help out the premium live events, and they can do so much for the company, but they're being given these cartoonish gimmicks, these bullshit feuds, all this stuff, all this stagey verbiage, and yes, you have to present yourself in the WWE way, just like you have to present yourself in the AEW, the New Japan way, or whatever company you're in. Every company has a certain style and a certain way they want to present their talents. But at this point, none of the feuds really mean anything, even if the talents can work, and I'm going to talk about some of that stuff. But NXT as a weekly product is getting frustrating. And Vic Joseph, I can only imagine how frustrating it is to work with Booker T. And Booker T, who's one of the best tag team wrestlers of the last 30 years, Harlem Heat, an incredible goddamn tag team. Booker T, severely underappreciated main event talent, waiting to break out as a singles main event talent in WCW, had to fight through a whole lot in WWE. And sure, he said some shit that maybe he should check himself before he wrecks himself. God, I sound so white saying that. But Booker's put a lot of years into wrestling. He should know how to do commentary a little bit better than this. Randy Savage was a better commentator than Booker, and let me just say, as a big Randy Savage fan, Randy Savage wasn't a great commentator. So we start off with Cameron Grimes versus Joe Wayne Gacy with the Schism. Ava Raine, who is cut off at the goddamn knee, she's toast already. They are going to need to have a goddamn miracle for her to last beyond a year in this, on this show with how things are going. And the Grizzled Hunk veterans, soon to be rectimized, or were soon to be rectimized, are toast. There's so many bad groups. There are so many bad groups in multiple companies just because they think, oh, let's put them in a faction, it'll work. It's like in the Attitude Era when WWE and WCW were, had all these factions, and some of them were good, and some of them were like, we're just putting these people together to give them TV time. And look, again, both these guys can work. Joe Wayne Gacy is not bad, and he's not a bad promo either, but it's a stupid gimmick. Cameron Grimes might as well be called up at some point. There was a melee, a Poison Rhino. Stop doing the Poison Rhino. I don't care who you are. Ava Raine knocks Cameron off the top, and handspring elbow, 1, 2, 3. There you go. Backstage with Axiom Verge and Mega Man Frazier. Mega Man Frazier is injured. He lays it all out there. He was injured in a ladder match. It's going to be a couple weeks until he's cleared. J.D. McTuna shows up and with medical advice, and he's going to face off against Axiom Verge. In case you haven't noticed, or kind of wonder maybe why I come up with different names for people. The names are so goddamn stupid they come up with. I just am deciding to come up with even dumber names because I might as well have some fun with this. It's not even knocking the efforts of the talents. JD can work. He's a fucking little creep with a head two sizes too big for his body. And Axiom, I'm not saying the A Kid was a marketable name, but Axiom's even worse. So, we go to the barbershop with Carmelo and Tricky Ticky Williams, and this is all about the North American Championship, how Carmelo has never been pinned for the North American title, except Solo beat him, but Solo wasn't going to be, whatever. I don't know how they're going to get around that, but whatever. They're yelling at the barber. Don't yell at the barber. Wesley is the target. Scripps then puts stuff on the screen. I don't know who this is. Some people have said it's going to be Roderick Strong. If this is going to require Roderick Strong to cut promos, they are fucked. Sol Ruca took on Elektra Lopez. Sol Ruca has a good look. Elektra Lopez has a very good look. This was fine. Elektra Lopez won with a choke bomb. I don't know what Elektra Lopez's new gimmick is supposed to be, what the deal with the elevator is. Maybe it's at Nakatomi Plaza. Oh boy, I hope that's not a hostage. And Andy then immediately fists Elektra after the match, fists her from behind, and I certainly wouldn't mind seeing that in the ring and nowhere else. Okay, this Andre Chase stuff is stupid. This Chase University stuff is stupid. Andre Chase isn't bad. Thea Hale is a good young prospect who's acting like Scrappy Doo, and Dookie Nukie Hudson, I don't know what they're doing with. I don't know what I don't know how anybody. If you find this entertaining, that's fine. I just don't know how anybody with any years of experience in wrestling can think, oh yeah, this is great for national cable television. And then Mandy and JC, God, JC Jane, good God, JC Jane's one of my favorites. JC's at the mall. She dropped $4K at the mall. I don't know what the hell she was spending. I don't know how many malls there still are around anymore. I have a couple malls near, or not near my, well, I have one near my house and a couple there in a couple cities down, and none of them are really all that great anymore because half the stores are empty because people don't really go to malls anymore. Then the mall cop pulls her over, and it's Alba Fire. St. Alba's Fire. Mandy, I'm coming to get you. Charlie Dempsey took on Andre Chase and beat him after he had the Regal stretch locked on, and Dookie Nukie Hudson threw in the towel. Andre may have not been happy, but he was getting choked out. That was a match. They are just putting Regal's son out here to basically just die on live television. Mackenzie and Enzy. McKenzie's, whatever. Indy needs to get out of NXT already. And I like Indy, don't get me wrong, but this is like the third time she said, I'm looking out for myself. Indy's really good. I just fear the first thing they're going to really do with her is have her and Loomis team up against Miz and Maurice at the Rumble or potentially at WrestleMania, which means Maurice gets to be on the WrestleMania card, which at this point should not be the case. At the bar with Briggs and Jensen and then Fallon, Henley, my goodness. Kiana James and her assistant show up, and Kiana James is offering more money to take that bar, pay Paradise, and put up an apartment complex. Boop, bop, bop, bop. And they're going to be fighting over bar property. They are fighting over shampoo. They both look great. Fallon Henley was great as Tesha Price during the pandemic era in AEW. On AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, and I think even a couple appearances on Dynamite. I'm trying to remember. They didn't want to sign her. They had to sign people with less charisma. And now she has the potential to at least be a good mid-card, upper mid-card act in WWE. Even with this ridiculous thing, Kiana James has a tremendous look. It's a stupid feud. This is a stupid reason to have a feud because nobody believes this. But whatever. Maybe they'll both make it work. Fallon won't sell the property, by the way, because she has plenty of memories wrapped up in this. Now, I know this has been going for a bit, but she's acting like her family's always owned this. No, they haven't. Hank Walker took on Stax, and Hank ain't bad, and he got poked in the eye and then got hit with a knee stomp, 1, 2, 3. The knee to the back of the head. The Grayson Waller effect. No, I do not want more Grayson Waller on my television. The lobotomized zebra, a.k.a. the caveman-looking stupid motherfucker that is Heavy Metal Von Wagner, who I'm sure is nice and is a goddamn atrocity on television. Steiner has a jacket straight out of his dad's collection. Why do they hate Steiner? Why do they keep putting him in with a bunch of goddamn idiots that really aren't very good? Steiner needs to be on the main roster. And, more people hate Von Wagner. Shock. I don't even hate him as a person. I just hate him as an on-screen talent. I'm not here to be popular. Well, you're pulling that off, you goddamn doofus. Why did they have him talk so long? You have Robert Stone there for a reason. Even if Robert Stone has been viewed as a joke, he can talk better than Von Wagner. Then again, I have seen comatose patients that are nonverbal that have been able to talk better than Heavy Metal Von Wagner. You goddamn doofus, stop fucking talking. Steiner needs to be on the Mania card next year. That's what I noted. If they have Von Wagner beat him for the title, it's just fucking ridiculous. Wesley says he will face Carmelo one more time to prove that he deserves, or that he deserves to be a champion. Cora Jade talks about Wendy Choo Choo, about friends and everything while holding her stick and ready to put her stick right in Wendy. Sounded a lot less dirty in my head, but Cora's fitting into this heel persona fine, and the pre-tape stuff will give her a little more confidence. It's certainly better than the scripted stuff that her and Roxanne were doing. Apollo wants his shot at Steiner. He sends in a video to prove this. J.D. McTuna took on Axiom Verge in a well-worked match. It was well-worked. There was good psychology here. I also don't give two flying fucks about either of these guys because, again, the aforementioned size of the head, it's 2 sizes too big for his body, possibly 3 sizes too big. It's like watching Peter Griffin go in the Fountain of Youth and come out and the head falls down. And Axiom Verge sells his knee, keeps diving, and then eventually there's a wrenching of the knee. And then the referee calls it off because you hear a pop. Then J.D. McTuna calls Apollo out. Basically, he wants to face him. And they're going to face each other next week. Shawn Michaels issues a statement on Deadline next week. Can Shawn Michaels keep both eyes on the camera? Highly unlikely, as Gorilla Monsoon would say. Brutus Cree took on Damon Kemp in a 5-minute challenge that lasted about 2.5 minutes. Damon Kemp had introduced a chair. Brutus hit him with a chair multiple times, and that's it. And then Sangha and Veer, they were veering on, as it were. I guess that's the next feud. Fine. Big lads collide each other in a tag team match. Let him go about 10 to 12 minutes. Sign me the fuck up. Why not? Justice Anthony. This is going to be Dijakovic rebranded again, isn't it? Why are we doing Judge Dredd stuff? I don't know. Roxanne wants to help Indy. This was stagey, and both these women deserve better. I don't mind them feuding. I don't mind them teaming up as unlikely tag partners for a bit, even though they're going to split them up, which there's no evidence of. Next match. Next match in a bit. Steiner versus Wagner. Again, if they give Wagner the title, just kill the brand. USA Network needs to pull the contract, needs to go to the cock. JD versus Apollo. Mandy versus St. Elmo's Fire. Last woman standing. And with Gigi and JC taken out, there's no way the St. Elmo's Fire could lose this. Watch her lose this. And then get called up to be part of Bianca's group because they need somebody, even though they're going to be getting a complete loser from a television perspective. Not that St. Elmo's Fire is not very good. The Katana and Caden crew, KKK, that's not good, took on Grandma Zoe and Nikita Lyons. I imagine that since they were in the main event spot, this is an NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match, that Zoe probably needed an energy boosted and sure to stay up, because when she was in school, they didn't have history. Her social security number is 1, and also she started wrestling before women had the right to vote, so she's had to go through a whole lot. I mean, her and Bobby Fish traded Civil War stories, is my point. So it's insane. I mean, Grandma Zoe really remembers the Alamo. Enough age jokes. Look, the match was what it was. Maybe it wasn't as good as the opening match that they had recently, where they had the title switch and didn't have the title switch. But that hourglass is ticking, man. It's ticking. God damn it, Booker, you fucking idiot. There was a melee, a near collision between the challengers, and then 450 on Zoe 1, 2, 3. And then they were going to present the titles, say, hey, you won fair and square, here you go. And then Zoe kept holding it from Caden and hit Nikita in the head. Unlikely tag team partners exploding. We've never seen that before. NXT's not just spinning its wheels, it's stuck like the goddamn horse in Never-Ending Story, except the horse had a reason to be sad and give up. NXT just gave up because it just doesn't give a shit anymore. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.